What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to this Foregoing. Today we're going to do something a little bit different with the tier list than what I've done before, and we're just actually going to evaluate these new characters and past characters that I haven't added to the tier list to see whether or not they're really on top. Now, I mean, guys, all these EX characters are godly, right? Every single one of them that we get are just dumb, stupid, overpowered as hell. They're ridiculous. I mean, really, any player that has any of these characters is going to be pretty damn happy. I mean, they're going to carry you, they're going to destroy content, they're going to murder pretty much everything in the game, including the most valuable. Well, I don't want to say it's the most valuable anymore because, I mean, Guild Raid was the most valuable and still is very, very valuable for players because you can get SS and BS memories out of this game mode, right? But now we can actually get 2 SS memories, at least that's what I think so far, Deimos base, right? That's guaranteed SS memory. So there might be a little bit more value in that game mode than there is in Guild Raid for players out there, right? I mean, that's pretty awesome getting 2 SS memories every single month guaranteed. I really do hope they fluctuate between SS and BS, but that remains to be seen. So let's talk about it, guys. So there's 3 characters I want to bring up. Cronin, Lady Choi, and Shermy. 3 characters that I haven't added to my tier list at all, and I wanted to go over this with you guys and ask for your opinions about all of these characters, whether or not you think they actually belong on top. So we'll start with Cronin. Now, Cronin is a purple character, so the character that he's competing with for the top slot in the tier list is Akuma. Akuma is the best purple that we have right now, except for Cronin. Now, guys, here's the thing. Akuma can actually do some wackiness and some cheesiness in RHD. Now, depending on how much value you put in RHD, really depend on how much stock you put in this. But the fact this guy has his critical hit shield, this thing pops up in RHD. You can actually cheese ball the RHD. You don't even have to, have him in the right requirements. Like, he's a purple attack. I could literally put him in a yellow. I could put him in a red, whatever requirement, and he'd still get it done, at least for a brief moment, because of this shield, right? And then, of course, the die explosion, just murdering, right? Cronin doesn't have that. Cronin can't do that. He will get reflected immediately and he will die. However, Cronin does apply dot to all the characters on the screen. That is very, very nice. But again, he will die if he tries to do his dot explosion in RHD. However, his damage, I think, is way better than Akuma. He is much stronger. He has a lot more power, and that really puts value. I mean, I've showed you guys in the videos with RHD, right? Whenever he's on a purple team, right? He's not going to get any kind of restriction. He's not going to fail any kind of requirements. He's just going to murder. The guy's crazy strong. And he's crazy strong for Guild Raid. He's going to be insane for Deimos base, especially due to the fact that he gets a heal whenever they do their default to him. That makes him godly on top of having the immunity. Although Akuma does have the immunity core as well. He actually has a little bit better immunity core than Cronin, because Cronin's, when HP is 30% or less, becomes immune to damage for 3 seconds on a 12-second cooldown, right? And 30% chance to become immune to damage for 4 seconds when attacked on a 15-second cooldown. Well, Akuma is a little bit different, where he gets his immunity every 10 seconds, right? He becomes immune to damage for 4 seconds, which is 1 second longer, guaranteed at 30%. And it's on a 10-second cooldown. So you could make an argument for which character actually would have a little bit better survivability. It really would depend on the game mode that you're actually playing them in, right? I mean, how much stock do you put in having a heal on a default and then having a immunity that's up more often? Or how much you can actually cheese RHD? I'm asking you guys, what do you think? What do you think? Cronin's stronger. Damage-wise, he would be on top in the purple list easily. He is stronger than Akuma. But, maybe Akuma would have more utility for some players. I mean, some players might think Akuma is actually better for them, for the reasons that I just explained. Both of them are going to be godly in Guild Raid. Both of them are going to easily get the scores. Both of them are going to do amazing in demo space. They're both going to just murder, right? And then we get to the next character, who is Shermy, right? A red character who's going to be competing against EX Kyo for the #1 red slot, right? Now, this girl does have an amazing leadership for balance type fighters, but something that makes her really godly is, one, she has explosion, just like Kyo. All these characters got crazy explosion, but she has to recover all team members' HP by 5% upon use. This on a 3-second cooldown. This is nutty, guys. This really adds a lot of survivability for all of your characters, not just herself, but all of them. This is nutty. When you're spamming this, you're going to be getting your heals, and she has an extra second on her immunity, right? As far as damage, I don't really know who's stronger between her and Kyo. I actually have no idea because, I mean, it really would depend, I think. Like having her at A3 and having Kyo at A3, I mean, maybe it'd be a different story. But at A5, Kyo actually, does get this core, right? He gets Penetrate where he can actually reset his first skill. This has made him pretty damn nutty. Whereas with Shermy, you know, she gets increased all enemy shock damage, by 35%, which is good, but I almost think Kyo's is actually better, at least as far as damage is concerned, right? Kyo does have a shield, whereas Shermy, she doesn't have a shield, right? But she does have an immunity, right? She becomes immune to damage for 4 seconds when attacked. But she doesn't have a set HP threshold. This is something that kind of sucks about the character is that, yeah, she'll get a immunity, right? But she might lose a tremendous amount of health before that immunity pops up, but she has the heal, right? And she has insane damage, whereas Kyo, like he does get a heal, or he doesn't get a heal, I'm sorry, but he does get a shield when attack of HP is 70% or less. He is an attack type fighter, so when the shield isn't up, he will take a tremendous amount of damage, but he doesn't have immunity. I would say at this point in the game that immunities are becoming more valuable than a shield, right? They shields are great. Don't get me wrong; they're amazing survivability tools. But it's just we're seeing more and more in our game modes that immunity is just kind of preventing from things happening to you as far as damage, at least in guild raid, right? But the shield still is insane for demo space, right? I mean, I think it's really going to depend on how much value you put on game modes. It's honestly tough for me to say which one of these characters is better because I see goods and bads about both of them. I see advantages and disadvantages to both of these characters. They're both insane. They're both amazing characters, right? Kyo's got a great leadership for EX fighters. That is awesome, right? Shermy's got a great leadership for balance type fighters, right? So, I mean, it would depend on your roster as far as maybe which leadership you actually think would be better for you, right? But I mean, EX characters are the cream of the crop. And the fact that this guy buffs up those characters, I mean, that goes a long way, guys. And again, I mean, I don't know really who's stronger. I think Keel's probably stronger, honestly, at 8.5, especially when you get his EX core unlocked. But I don't really know because I can't test it, guys. And I'm not going to 8.5 every single character because that would be godly expensive. So let me know which of these characters you guys actually think is best. I mean, do you think it's better having this heal that can heal all of your team members over and over and over, especially for a game mode like Demos Base? Right? Or do you think it's better just having that shield, right? I mean, she's got an immunity core also. He doesn't. She doesn't have a shield. He does. He's probably has more damage than her, but her damage is more than good enough to do everything in the game and get the maximum rewards out of your characters. So again, let me know which one of these characters you actually think is best. And then we get into the last category, which is the green. Now, when it comes to green, guys, Angel is the #1 character currently right now, but I do think that Lady Choi is better. Angel does have, this crazy increased critical rate by 15%. That is nice, but she doesn't have an immunity core. She does get a shield though when she uses her active skill, right? Whereas Lady Choi doesn't have a shield, right? It's kind of the same thing that we just talked about, right? But she does become immune to damage for 2 seconds when HP is 35% less. This is guaranteed, right? But it's on a 14-second cooldown, right? That's not really the greatest survivability. I would actually argue that Angel's survivability might be actually better, but Lady Choi is a defensive fighter, whereas Angel is a balance type fighter. Lady Choi is going to have natively higher defenses. She's going to be able to absorb a little bit more damage, and she has a decreased damage received by 80% whenever the characters are bleeding, right? That is big, guys. That is a huge decreased damage received. So she doesn't take a lot of damage, and she's immune to fear. That is also really good, and bleed, right? Whereas Angel is, she has a shield, she does reflect stun, she has poison immunity, right? And she can buff up, burn, and shock characters as well, right? Whereas Lady Choi, can't really do that, right? And that was something I should have mentioned about Shermy, is that she can actually buff up some other dots as well. It's also another thing that's really valuable about her. But I do think Lady Choi is stronger than Angel. And Lady Choi, this is a big one, guys. And Lady Choi actually has this ridiculous decreased skill cooldown of ultimate move. And because her default and her 3PG are both fairly long animations, you can literally keep her default and her 3PG up pretty much all the time. She delays timers insanely well. She's going to be better for time attack than, say, someone like Angel. I mean, they are, one's defense and one is balance, but she is going to be better for that, right? It's just like, I personally, guys, I do think that this is a better character than Angel. Not to say Angel is a bad character. She's insane. Like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, she is nuts. All these characters are, right? They all have 5.5 times explosion. They all destroy their opponents. But if you're going to be comparing each of these characters to each other, I do think this character, now I'm not naming even everything that all these characters have and all their capabilities. It's just, these are some of the things that I think are really, vital for all of them as far as comparing them in the meta. And I do think Lady Choi is number one. But guys, let me know what you think about Lady Choi and Angel. Do you think Lady Choi is better than Angel, or do you think that Angel is better than Lady Choi? And then, of course, guys, you always got to look at the dots. But I mean, Angel's dot works good against Nightmare Geese. I'm sorry, Angel is actually really good against Rugal with the poison, right? So they're both just insane characters to have, really any of these characters. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that Cronin is better than Akuma, or do you think that Akuma should be on top of Cronin? Do you think that Kyo is better than Shermy, or do you think that Shermy is actually better than Kyo and Angel and Lady Choi? Honestly, guys, it's really difficult to gauge because it really depends on the kind of player you are, the game modes that you actually put value in, whether you think shields are better than immunities or immunities are better than shields. A lot of this is just up for debate in all honesty, guys. But as far as damage, Cronin is stronger than Akuma. I do think that Kyo is probably stronger than Shermy, although I can't guarantee that. And I do think that Lady Choi is stronger damage-wise than Angel. That doesn't mean they're necessarily better characters and should belong on the top. But if you're going by damage numbers, then yes, they should. But if you're going by the complete package, then your opinion may change. So again, guys, let me know what you think about these characters as far as where they actually belong on the tier list. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.